All right. Hello, hello. How's everybody out there? Hope y'all feeling good today. All right. We about to get into some real heavy information. I hope you ready. Hope you ate some cereal, got some food on your belly. Hope you got a good nap. It's very important to get naps. Naps are not just for children; they're for everybody. So first and foremost, welcome. My name is Omari Kinsey. I'm the proud founder of O.Y.O Enterprises, and I'm here to present to you our flagship program, Minimum to Millions. Minimum to Millions, right? And this is a program, right, designed for everybody, right? But I don't want to be too broad. I don't want to be too wide. Specifically, this is for people who are W-2 workers, right? Who are employees, who have a job, and who receive their income and their money through W-2, right? And so this program, right? This is your roadmap. This is your roadmap from where you are right now at this moment, where you are to where you deserve to be, to where you want to be, but most importantly, to where you deserve to be. Because when they talk about the 1% and the 99% of people, I would say 100% of those people actually deserve the wealth, deserve the resources, deserve the abundance that is in existence. However, a small amount of people have a big amount of information that the 99% of the population does not have and doesn't have access to. So we're going to change that, right? So we're going to do that. We're going to do that through three basic steps, right? The first is through smarter taxes, right? Doing and preparing your taxes in a smarter way, right? The second is strategic business ownership, right? Owning a business for a purpose, right? I mean, you definitely want to provide a service, right? And you want to provide benefits to the planet and to your location and all of that. But specifically, strategically, how owning a business can be of service to you if you are a W-2 employee right now, beyond the wealth, beyond the money, right? The taxes, it helps significantly. And lastly, we have, we help with powerful investing, right? Because the bottom line is if you're not investing, that means that you're only earning your money from your labor, right? You're only earning your money while you're awake. And through investing, you get the opportunity to earn while you sleep. So we're going to jump right into it. What we got? Let's go. All right. So listen, peace to the world. I hope everything is blessed. I hope everything is moving in the direction that you need it to. Uh, I'm Omari, right? I'm the proud founder of O.Y.O Enterprises, which stands for Own Your Own, right? And that means owning a business. That means owning a home. But most important than anything that we deal with on a day-to-day, the most important thing is your time, because you can get money back, you can get clothing back, you can get cars back. The one thing on this planet that you cannot get back is time, right? And so most of us don't own our own time. Our time is, we're leasing our time to companies, and we're giving everybody our time, but we don't actually have control over our own time, right? And so we help new entrepreneurs formulate their businesses, and W-2 workers correct their tax withholdings, leverage a business, and invest to become truly wealthy, right? I mean, truly wealthy, not just wealthy. I'm talking about true generations paying for your great grandchildren's college funds. You know what I mean? So, so look, after being laid off in 2020, right, I began my business with a clear understanding. I no longer wanted my fate or the fate of my family to rest in anyone else's hands, right? And that was a real realization for me. because I had been working at this job for 10 years. I was doing good. It was, it was flexible. It was a great job. But the fact of the matter is, they had me working. I had my son at home. Me and my wife had our son at home. And I actually worked pretty close to my job. And so the day that my son was born, I was called into work. I was called into work. I told them I was having a baby. They called me into work. Um, and then when I got to the job, they was like, "Aren't you having a baby right now?" And I was like, "Yeah, but y'all called me." And they was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." But the fact of the matter is that they definitely cared for me. I loved all my coworkers. I loved my bosses for the most part. But the fact of the matter is, I was a number to that organization, and they control my time, and I no longer wanted that. I never wanted that to happen again in my life. And so I started studying the rules of the wealthy, and I discovered that investing is one of the primary ways to acquire and sustain real resources. Um, and but the problem, most of us don't feel like we have enough to even start investing, right? And that is the wrongest notion that we could ever have. And we're gonna get into that. So in this guide, we'll cover how to correct your tax withholdings so you stop overpaying, how to take that money, the recovered money from your taxes, put it put it to work through your investments, right? And how business owners can minimize taxes and accelerate the wealth that is needed to invest, right? So it's all streamlined, right? So I look forward to you taking a strong hold over your future, right? Because I want to take a strong hold over my future as well, and we could do it together. We could be partners. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, okay. So our agenda, right? Our agenda. First and foremost, we're gonna go over the rationale and purpose for this program, right? Then we're gonna tap into the W-2 tax withholding adjuster or adjustment, right? And that's basically your W-2 form is the form that they give you when you first start your job, and they just tell you just put a 0 or 1 and move on, right? So we're going to get into how to do that correctly so you can get back what you are supposed to have. After that, we're going to go into the EIN number and the business structures, right? So that you can actually get a hold of how to start a business, which is ridiculously simple. We're going to go into LLC creation, because LLC is, aside from a S corp and a C corp, right? The different structures of a corporation. The LLC, the limited liability corporation, is one of the most accessible and the most beneficial for small business owners, right? And like for small business and big business, because you had huge billion-dollar corporations like the NBA, which is an LLC. So it doesn't mean that you're small if you have an LLC. Lastly, we'll get you into the investments that will take you into the future, right? And that stocks, bonds, cryptocurrency, all the investments that we deal with, we're going to show you how to make sense of them and to move forward with them. And lastly, so the purpose and the importance of this program, right, is the fact of the matter is the financial reality facing most Americans is stark. Oh my goodness. These aren't opinions. These are facts, truly facts, right? So 60% of the population here in the United States lives paycheck to paycheck, right? And that is whether you are a minimum wage worker or an NBA player, because NBA players, just like a minimum wage worker, get paid every 2 weeks. So the ability to balance this extreme amount of wealth that is not coming all at one time, while you still have bills coming continually every month, creates a situation where you are living paycheck to paycheck, right? And so 60% of us are doing that. 20% of seniors have become unretired, right? Because the 401ks that they had are not enough to sustain them post retirement. So they have to come out of retirement to get a job to sustain their lives after working 40, 50 years at a job or wherever they worked. But now they got to do it again, right? And lastly, we got 30% of the people here in this country have less than $1,000 saved. That means less than $1,000 in liquid cash, right? That they can get their hands on at any time in the case of an emergency. So that means most of us are not prepared for an emergency, and those emergencies are going to drive us into poverty, I guess. Yeah, probably so. So we need to be able to create safety nets for ourselves. And this program is going to show you how to do that. So let's get it going.